Hey there, it's Dusty with yet another story for you. This one comes from Just No Mother-in-Law. And the title of this one is Suing My Mother-in-Law for Defamation After Giving Birth to My First Child. I'm currently recovering from having my firstborn and thought this would let out some of my frustrations about the whole situation. For context, I'm 26 female and my husband is 29 male. We've been married for 2 years. Honestly, mother-in-law wasn't too bad at the beginning. She wasn't a super nice person, but my husband said that she's always like this. She was always neutral when it came to me, not happy, not sad, not mad. This changed when I got pregnant. It was also when we had moved a few states away. This was not planned. We weren't trying to get pregnant, and my job sent me to live in Washington, so we moved there, and then I found out that I was pregnant. Husband and I were elated, and with my new job and savings I've been building, we decided to keep the baby. We told his family after the second trimester, since I have a heart condition and some other chronic illnesses that made the first trimester difficult for me. It was emotionally and physically tiring, and I was constantly terrified of losing the baby. But we made it, and my doctors felt more confident, so we told our families over FaceTime. My husband's family was ecstatic. This would be their first grandchild. Father-in-law especially was excited. He's the sweetest man. But mother-in-law, for the first time, shared her own opinion. She didn't like it. We're expecting. I don't like it. That's the kind of thing, mother-in-law, that maybe you just keep to yourself next time. This is like Chandler saying he doesn't like dogs. Joey's like, don't do it. She said, if you knew you were having a baby, why did you move so far away? She accused me of moving closer to my family so that I would cut off my husband's family. My husband told her that we didn't know about the pregnancy when we moved. It just happened at the same time. It put a bit of a damper on the mood of the FaceTime, and we ended it early. Husband and I were both shocked at mother-in-law's behavior, but brushed it off. Again, she never did anything drastic to make me think she hated me or anything. Over the next week, she sent us email after email about houses back in our old state trying to get us to move back. Husband told her many times that we can't move. My job is here and I have to be in person 4 days a week. We had found a wonderful house, and even though we weren't planning on having any children yet, this house is perfect for us. Mother-in-law then started sending houses and apartments to only my husband. 1 bed, 1 bath. Telling him that he could get one of these and bring her baby to them while I work. What the actual hell? Husband shut that down super fast, saying his life was here now and he wouldn't be moving back. Hold up. She's like, well, if she's not coming back with you, then I know you're coming back alone, right? Bring my baby. She thinks she has ultimate control over him. He shut it down. He's green flags pending for hubby here. This behavior went on, but we ignored it, especially when we found out the baby might have the same heart condition. I had to go in to do a fetal echocardiography to check, and the stress started to give me palpitations. I was kept in the hospital for a few days for observation and then sent home. My husband was my rock during this time. Words cannot explain how much this man made me feel safe and cared for. This is probably why he didn't tell me of the continuing behavior of mother-in-law, which I don't blame him for. He was also working more, making sure our move-in was going okay, and also the emotional stress of the whole pregnancy. During this time, mother-in-law started sending baby stuff to our house, all male-gendered, even though we told her we weren't going to do a gender reveal or anything. I think all of that stuff is tacky, and I'm not premeditating my baby's room or toys or clothes by their sex. Plus, the stuff she sent was ugly as hell anyway. Time went on and I got better. My baby will most likely have my same heart condition, but the doctor said that any care or treatment can wait until post-birth. They're not worried about it at this time. Mother-in-law started posting on Facebook how her baby was in danger because of my poor health and accused me of intentionally trying to ruin the baby's life. I'm not on Facebook and neither is my husband, so we didn't know about this. Well, my due date comes and goes and my baby doesn't want to come out, so I'm induced into labor. People say you forget how bad childbirth is, and I don't know when that happens, but I hope it's soon because goddamn, it was traumatizing. I won't go into detail, but both my husband and I were relieved when it was over. Because of my stay in the hospital, she knew which location I would be giving birth at. Once she knew I was being induced into labor, she got on a plane and showed up to our house. She called my husband over and over again, but he never answered because he was busy becoming a father. That's when she showed up to the hospital at 3 a.m. in the morning looking for us. Luckily, she wasn't able to get into our area because we were close to the NICU, and there is extra security there. She called my husband again, and when he answered, she started yelling at him, telling him that she missed the birth of her baby and that she will never forgive him for this.
Her baby?
Yeah.
Her baby.
She did not mention that she was in the hospital. Husband was exhausted and just told her he'd call her back later. Husband went downstairs to get coffee and saw her She demanded to see the baby, and when he said no, she freaked out again, claiming that I was breaking the family apart. She said I purposefully got pregnant as we moved, so I trapped us in Washington, and basically unloaded all of her thoughts and opinions about me throughout our entire relationship. Husband told her to go home and that he'll talk to her later. I had a girl, and both my husband and I love her so much. We got our own supplies and clothes, and we donated the stuff mother-in-law bought us. Ooh. I hope you filmed like the donation process, because you might need that later. We both stayed in the hospital 2 weeks. In that time, mother-in-law posted on Facebook like it was her job. She found pictures of babies with different ethnicity and posted them, not saying outright that I cheated on my husband, but letting other people think that. Hold up. I gotta read this again just to wrap my friggin' brain around it. Hold on. She found pictures of babies with a different ethnicity and posted them, not saying outright that I cheated on my husband, but letting other people think that. Wait, so side by side with, well, first of all, was posting pictures of your baby without an okay? And then was posting.
No, she only put that she was saying she cheated. Come on, babe. Come on.
She was just like going out and finding random baby pictures of babies of other ethnicities to post and say that this was her grandchild so that people would think that she cheated? Okay, I thought she was doing like a side-by-side comparison and being like,
No. She was saying
this bitch be cray. She gets the Delulu for show. When husband and I took our baby girl home, that's when everything caught up to us. One of my mother-in-law's posts went viral, where she was asking for advice on how to claim guardianship of a grandchild if they are being abused by their parent. Like legit lawyers commented links and messaged her. People asked for our address to call CPS. Once they researched her profile page, they found my husband and I. They found his work, my family. My family's business's Yelp reviews were tanked, and the police did end up coming to our home. I had been home from the hospital for 4 days. I only had 4 days with my baby. My husband dealt with everything, and my cousin is a counselor for an attorney and is going to help us file a lawsuit against her for defamation. I am so exhausted and overwhelmed with this information. I'm in therapy, mental and physical. My therapist said it's good to write down what happened and how I'm feeling. I don't even know if I'll post this or for how long it'll be able to stay up. I love my husband. I love my baby, but this entire experience has made me so depressed. I don't know why she did this. I don't know what changed. That's the end. Okay. What are they going to do for a defamation suit that's going to undo this? That's you can't undo the damage that she's done. She can't unring that bell. Even if she goes and makes a public apology and fesses up to being a bold-faced liar with malicious intent, that doesn't undo it. It doesn't undo the impact of people tracking down both of your workplaces and making God knows what contact with your workplaces, tanking your parents' small business. Like, there's no undoing of this. And to have someone who, just because they don't have control of the situation, just because they weren't the first person in line to get to see her, just because they view this grandbaby as their baby and they weren't given VIP tickets, is going to set the entire world on fire. And in doing so, put this child at risk, harms your child's financial stability by attacking your workplaces, harms this child's future by creating a social instability around the entire family. This isn't about the baby. She doesn't give a shit about the baby. She cares about her. She was disrespected by not giving preferential treatment. She was disrespected by you not immediately dropping everything and moving back home so that she could have easier access to her baby. This isn't going to be just defamation. This is going to be a protection order at minimum. The kind of things that she's done already should make you feel very unsafe. Jennifer, yeah, this bizzo did all this within 4 days of the grandbaby's birth. Insane. This is wild. Candy Thunder, what do you think here? Let's bring her in. Come on, Mama Bear. What would you do?
I wouldn't have to do anything. You would have already gone apeshit. You would have already put a stop to it. I read this story and I was shocked. like this woman thought that what she was going to get, like she wanted this to be her baby. Like she wanted to find out how she could get grandparents' rights, or like, it's like it was like some kind of piece of property and she was fighting over it in some kind of unethical way. Like, I don't even understand why people think that this is going to get you what you want, or why you think you're entitled. One, why the do people think they're entitled to show up where a woman is giving birth? Like it's some kind of spectacle for people to just stop in and like take a look-see and see when the baby might come. And, oh, is it crowning? I want to see. I want to be there for the entire thing. I want to watch you push out a baby out of your vagina. No, it's not a spectacle. It's birth, and it's personal.
I'm just saying, like, we're never going to have another kid. But if somehow it ends up happening, we'll live stream it for you.
I didn't even look.
I'll live stream it for you.
Why? I mean, yeah, like I'll take on your mother-in-law myself, because this just pisses me off. Like, to do this to someone who, one, already has like an unstable condition, who is pregnant, with the stress of the pregnancy causing her unstable condition to accelerate and could possibly be affecting the baby or not. Like, the baby could have the condition as well. And you're like, yeah, you know what I'll do? I'm going to up your life even more, and I'm going to make your life even harder. And like, and I always say this, even if the story isn't true, people do this all day, every day, and they do it to people to try to get their way because they don't feel, what are you missing in your life that you have to treat people like this? What is it? I don't understand, like, why people go out of their way to, is it just being right? Like, is it
I don't
control? Like, what? That's not your baby. That's not your egg. It's not your sperm. You didn't make the baby. It doesn't belong to you. Back the off. And quit trying to butt into people's lives. Like, quit trying to show up at the hospital. Quit trying to take over. And you don't get grandparents' rights 4 days after a baby is born. Like, it's just, it does not work that way. But also, this isn't a nurse Hannah thing. This is you with somebody's life. You with somebody's parents' jobs. Like, you messed with their workplace. You put their freaking address on blast. Like, you doxed them to the highest level. And you're his mom. Like, this is your grandbaby, and you with their entire life. Like, this is not the situation where you call CPS. And honestly, like, a lesson to not believe everything that you see online. Like, unless you're seeing it happen with your own eyes, do not believe every story that you read online.
Which really confuses me here, because I'm with the majority of chat who's like, she's not all there. Because imagine this web that she's weaving of deceit, right? If the end game in her mind was that she actually ended up with custody of this child somehow, the interwebs would be very confused, because that's not the baby she posted.
Right? And why does she want custody of the baby if the baby's not even her son's? She doesn't have any rights to the baby.
Because she can get attention when she has the baby.
God.
And what she did instead was get attention in this other way. Oh, and her post going viral, can you imagine the amount of ego inflation she was going through? And not just that, but all of that inflation going into just fuel for her believing she's right throughout all this too.
Right.
She wasn't truthful in what she said. She knows that. So maybe she is all there. Mm-hmm. But, she's got a lot more, like her stance is cemented now.
Steady chaos. Munchausen by internet. They're addicted to the attention that they get on the internet because people feel sorry for them, and it allows them to spin this narrative that is so far from the truth, and then people just fall into this story and believe it. And there are people that will call CPS, and if CPS gets enough calls, like here in the United States, like if they get enough calls for one certain thing, they're going to check it out.
Yeah.
There's going to be some kind of follow-up that happens with it. But why would you do this to your son? I mean, like, remove the wife and baby from that. Why would you do this to your child? Like, why? As a mother, how could you just stand by and be like, this is the best course of action. This is exactly what I want to do. This is totally going to get me into my grandchild's life. She just made certain that she will never see this baby. She will never know her grandchild. And she lost her son.
And again, the only thing that makes sense is that it was never about the kid. Like, she never gave a shit about the kid. It was about the attention that she would get from the kid, because what she did afterward, posting what she posted and running this all the way back, it's the only thing that makes sense. It was all about the attention the entire time.
This is how my mother is. Why? Like, it's like these moms, like, just never grew up. Like, never stopped caring about them. I don't. Stopped caring about themselves. Stopped caring about control. I don't.
Which shines a lot of light into how children, like direct children of mothers like this, were raised, right? It was never about them.
Right.
It was about the attention that they could get her. So, damn.
100% certain. If you demand to be at the hospital when a baby is being born, you don't care about the baby. You don't care about the mom. You only care about how it makes you feel. You have zero care about how you're making the person in labor feel.